Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do,
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Le'olam Va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שברחים גם יחד. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this stage. to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. 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 Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yalalai, 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 olam chesed yibaneh, yalalai, 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 olam chesed yibaneh.
Welcome, friends. We're so glad to be here together. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's so nice and warm inside our sanctuary. This is the first Shabbat since the clocks have changed, and it feels like it's very late at night. But it's really the same time that we gather every Friday night throughout the year. And so this is our pattern. This is what we do. This is our Jewish time of the week, and this is our Jewish place to be. At the end of what's been a eventful, hectic, sometimes happy, sometimes miserable week for each of us, each in our own way. And so it is that we take a breath and come together. We're so glad that each of you is here with us in person, and we know that many are joining us via the live stream, whether local members of our congregation or more farther afield members of our congregation and guests and visitors. Whoever you are, however you are with us, we want you to know that you have always belonged right here. And so with that, we are very pleased to bring more and more light into the world. Our world certainly needs more light, not just because it is dark outside these windows, but because there are unseen places nearby and far away that need light, that need warmth, that need compassion, that need hope. And so to bring light to ourselves and to our world, we're so pleased to invite tomorrow morning's bar mitzvah. Levi Feldman, please come forward. And we're going to invite your mom to join you as well as we light our congregational candles and a pair of candlesticks that belong to your grandmother, Levi, Arlene Baldecki. And so I'm going to ask you, Levi, to light the congregational candles first, and then Mom will light.
As we transition from a busy week into Shabbat, it helps to make some literal good vibrations. What I mean by that is make some sound, raise your voices, and sing together. That's the purpose of Kabbalat Shabbat. It helps us to shake loose the week a little bit and settle in. So we're going to begin with our first psalm on page 648. 140. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמוע עליון, ולזמר לשמוע עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמוע עליון, ולזמר לשמוע עליון. להגיד בבוקר, להגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חצרך, באמונה ובלילות. להגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חצרך, באמונה
Friends, we'll invite you to turn back one page, pages 138 and 139. Here we find the words of Lecha Dodi. At the end of Lecha Dodi, we welcome in the Shabbat Beloved. And I like to think of that as welcoming in what we most need here at the end of a busy week. For each of us, it might be something different. Maybe we're in need of a little bit of friendship. Maybe we're in need of a little bit of peace, a little bit of hope, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of kindness. I invite you to think about what you need most. And then when we rise for the 9th verse and we welcome in the Shabbat Beloved, let's imagine exactly that coming into our lives just in the nick of time.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat Nekabela. Shamor v'zachor merivurecha, Yishme'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Leshem hu tiferet,
As we face the entrance for the 9th verse. Prayer is supposed to be the continuation of an ongoing conversation between each of us and God. And so as we turn to page 146 for Baruch Hu, we offer a call and we listen for a response, that divine human conversation that we cherish.
Ya la 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 la.
You may be seated. I invite you to join me on page 149 at the top of the page in these words, thanking God for the miracles of creation and the cycles of our natural world. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravi. Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vayeh. Ve'ahavta
Page 154.
et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim l'aleichem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
On page 158, our prayer for freedom, Michamocha. As we turn to page 160 for Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu is a prayer that, for me, always connects me with nature, with the outdoors. We talk about the Sukkot Shalom, this sukkah of peace that we ask God to provide for us. A sukkah is a structure in the elements, outside with holes in the roof so you can see. So Hashkivenu for me has always been a prayer about connecting with the elements, with nature, with the outdoors. And asking for the protection that we need. So I think all the more so on a night like tonight, I'm thinking a lot about Hashkivenu and its connection to the outdoors. And in today's world, we may not need protection or shelter from the elements. We're inside this beautiful sanctuary where it sounds like it may have stopped raining. But in that spirit, as we turn to the words of Hashkivenu, think about the protection, not complete protection, but just like a sukkah, partial protection that we ask for. What in your life might you need some protection from or for? Page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim L'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim L'chaim Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim L'chaim. May you shelter us. May you shelter us in peace until the morning comes. May you lay us down. May you lay us down with love, and may you raise us up. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim L'chaim L'chaim
We turn to the words of our Amidah beginning on page 164, and in body or spirit we rise.
Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Agi Tehilatecha Adonai open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sora, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol V'zocher Chastei Avot v'imahot U'mevi Geula Livnei v'neihem Leman Shemo v'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Friends, I invite us to turn to page 376. As today is Veterans Day, it is appropriate for us to offer these words at the foot of the page, 376, in appreciation of all those who have served our nation and in gratitude to the freedoms that we enjoy. Please join me. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body or spirit. Amen. At this time, we're going to give you the gift of a few moments of quiet, so rare in our lives. And you can use the words of the prayer book if you wish, from page 270 to page 281 to continue the, or 170 to page 170 to 181 to continue the blessings of the Amidah if you choose, or you don't have to. You can just close the book, put it aside, and recognize that sometimes the most important words that we want to share come from within. So we invite you to enjoy these next few moments of silence and use them however you choose. And then if you are currently standing, you may be seated when you've completed your time of silent prayer.
Page 180.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, יעשה שלום עלינו.
Friends, as we come together each Shabbat, one of the most important things we do is ask for a little healing and strength and comfort for all those who are ill, injured, or in pain of the body, of the mind, or of the spirit in some way. And so at this time, if you know of a loved one, a family member, or a friend who's in need of a little bit of strength and healing and comfort at this time, we invite you to share their name aloud or in your heart. In addition to those named, we pray for the well-being of Marta Adamus, Molly Anderson-Diker, Eva Cooper, Carol Dichter, William Dichter, Frida Easton, Steve Elliott, Louise Friedman, Maurice Friedman, Rhoda Friedland, Jackie Fuchs, Lanny Gans, Jeff Helfand, David Hidalgo, Natalie Kellner, Phyllis Kamansky, Lauren Levy, Sheldon Manspizer, Don Matthews, Richard Mort, Barbara Nash, Stephen Newworth, Alan Nevis, Harry Picard, Carol Randall, Robbie Regano, Deborah Lynn Ross, Tybee Scher, Stanley Stern, Esther Stone, Joan Wetzler, Moshe Yaakov ben Yocheved, Shimon Eliyahu ben Avraham Visara. And we say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Alehem Lahachalimam Ularapotam Ulahachazikam. May the Holy One be blessed. May the Holy Blessed One be filled with compassion, for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. And we say together, Amen. Page 371.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Monday morning, when we sat down for our clergy meeting to begin the week, Rabbi Friedman noted that this week's Torah portion is his favorite Torah portion all year. It's a pretty good one to pick. There is a lot that happens in this week's Torah portion, Vayera. We get the story of the Akedah, of the binding of Isaac. We get my favorite part of the Torah portion comes at the end of the Torah portion, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. We'll come back to that in a second. We have a lot of commentary, and the rabbis discuss Sarah's role, who is absent in a lot of ways from the Akedah, and how and what she might have been up to while this was happening. But while I wouldn't say it's my favorite Torah portion, this story of Sodom and Gomorrah is my favorite story in the entire Torah. Here's what happens. God decides that the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah must be destroyed. They are rampant with evil, and there is not enough redemptive quality in anyone in the cities to keep the cities going. God wants to destroy the entire cities, both of them. So Abraham goes to speak with God. And Abraham says, why are you doing this? What if there are 50 righteous people in this city? Will you destroy the entire city? Will you destroy the righteous? Will you destroy the righteous along with the entire city if there are 50 righteous individuals in that city? And God says, no, if you can find 50, I will spare the whole city. So Abraham sort of takes advantage of this negotiation that he's entered himself into and says, what about 45? And God says, okay, if you find 45, I won't destroy the city. What about 40? What about 30? What about 20? What about 10? Abraham and God negotiate back and forth, and they settle on 10 righteous individuals will save the entire city from destruction. Now, this is my favorite story in all of Torah, and I think there are two key lessons that we can learn from this story. First one, just 10 righteous people can change the world. To me, this is the epitome, the Jewish epitome of one of my favorite quotes by Margaret Mead: never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Why? It's the only thing that ever has. I've always loved this quote. I've always loved this Torah portion, and it's not until this week that I realized that to me, they are saying the exact same thing. Just 10 righteous people can change the world. So whenever something seems to be a little bit too daunting or too out of reach, just 10 righteous people can change the course of history. The second lesson that I think we get from this story of Abraham and God negotiating to save the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah is the power of using our voice to stand up for what we believe in. Every time I am leading a group of teens in some sort of social justice project or trip or lesson, this is the foundational text that I use. Why? Because Abraham stood up for what he believed was right, even if he had to go against God in this negotiation. So we can certainly do our part to stand up when we think something is important, stand up for what we think is right, and do what needs to be done to stand up for those rights, for those values, for that project, for whatever it is that you are fighting for. Sometimes it's hard to take that first step. This story is a reminder for me, and it can be a reminder for all of us, that even if you have to write to a congressperson, even if you have to speak up to God, it is worth doing, and we have the precedent to do that thing. So using your voice is this important value that we get from this week's Torah portion. And in America, one of the ways that we use our voices is to vote. And so on Tuesday, we had the opportunity, those of us who are of age, to use our voices to impact the world we live in, to enact the changes that we want to see in this world. There are always specific issues, specific candidates, specific things in our lives that cause us despair or hopelessness. But there are also always things that give us hope, that excite us, that make us proud. So I want to highlight just a couple of ways we collectively, as a society, made the world better with our voices on Tuesday night. In Massachusetts and Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Maura Healey will be the first ever women governors in those states. In Oregon, Tina Kotek will join Maura Healey as the first lesbian governors in all of our country. In the state of Maryland, Wes Moore will become the first black governor of that state. Voters in Vermont and Michigan and California voted to codify abortion rights, and in Kentucky, voters rejected an amendment that would ban abortion in that state as well. And right here in Connecticut, we all expanded access to voting by amending our state constitution to allow for early voting, allowing more and more folks who are citizens of our state of Connecticut the ability to vote when it is convenient, and they are able to as well. And for Jews had a pretty good night on Tuesday as well. Particularly, running against a candidate who was openly anti-Semitic on the campaign trail, the new governor of Pennsylvania is an observant Jewish day school dad who quoted Pirkei Avot in his victory speech. In addition to Josh Shapiro being the new governor of Pennsylvania, there are at least 5 brand new Jewish members of Congress from both political parties. And their names are these Congress people: Balint, Miller, Moskowitz, Landsman, Magaziner, and maybe Adam Frisch will become freshmen Congress people, and they are members of the tribe in doing so. So there is always things to despair about, and also there is always room for hope. There is always room to see light that happens in our world, and we can use our voices, our collective voices, to make those changes happen. So may we, each one of us, use our voices to act in such a way that makes us one of those 10 righteous people. So in doing so, that number will grow and grow and grow. And then, may we use our voices to change the world.
I will open my eyes, I will open my eyes, I will not look away. I will use this gift I've been given every day. I have a voice, my voice is powerful.
Kedra was teaching that song to our Kesher students on Sunday. When I picked up George at the end of our session, at the end of the Kesher session, we got in the car, and the first thing he said to me is, "Daddy, my voice is powerful. It can change the world." Thank you. We rise for Aleinu before our open ark, page 586 in the middle of the page.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום
Sadly, some of the most righteous among us are no longer beside us. They reside in our hearts and in our memories, but they breathe no longer, though their legacy of righteousness continues. And so at this time, we think of all those whom we have loved and lost, and whose righteousness provides a guide for us along the path of our own lives. At this time, if you're observing Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days following the death of a loved one, we invite you to rise and share their name aloud.
Buddy Joseph's and my uncle.
In addition to Buddy, we also remember Dr. Herrick Cohen, husband of the late Ellen, father of Lauren and Mark Blitzer, Shari and Gary Korn, Karen and Jonathan Bilzen, and grandfather of 9. Frank Della Posta, father-in-law of Mike Kennan. William Crane Alexander, father of Courtney. David Mars, father of Marnie and Jeff Nussbaum, grandfather of Haley and Romy. And Ruth Finn Ocean, wife of Larry, mother of Alexa and Matthew. So too, if you're observing Yartzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one, we invite you to rise and share their name aloud. This evening, we are observing the Yartzeit of Ellen Edelkoff Herman, Carla Breidenbach, Hyman Korenman, Charles Edelstein, Lily Gack, Harry Geffen, Louis Goldberg, Joyce Grodnick, Julia E. Hartley, Hans Kretsch, Louis Krieger, Norm Ladd, Henny Levine, Michael Mendelson, Janet Malinsky, Paul Rosen, Burton Rubenstein, Arlene Saul, Lillian Sayers, Wendy Margolis Smith, Gloria Stern, Gerald Seymour Westreich, and Siegfried F. Wetzler. We say, Zichronam Livracha. May the memory of all of those we have named out loud and in our hearts always be a blessing. And we rise as one congregation in sympathy and fellowship for these words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'elam Ulamei Amaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitale V'yithalal Shemei D'Kudusha B'Rihu Leila Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Damiran Be'alma V'Imru Amen Yehi Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen Osei Shalom Bimromav V'yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. May the Holy One of Blessing, who creates harmony in the heavens above, bring peace to all us, to the entire people of Israel, and to all humanity. And we say together,
Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav V'yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Yimeru Amen.
so lovely to be together tonight, hasn't it?
It has been.
And so lovely to have all of you with us via the live stream. We know we have hundreds who join us each Shabbat from near and far, so we're so glad that you are with us this evening as well. Yeah, everybody can wave if you want, absolutely. Levi, tomorrow's going to be an important day, a big day in your life. You become a bar mitzvah, so we're going to invite you forward so that you can lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. For everyone, both here and on the live stream, we want you to know that you can grab one of those. You can grab one of those cups. I'll hold this for you for a second. Okay. We want to invite you to come back. We have two big events this week. The one I'll tell you about first is on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. We are going to host Rabbi Matt Gewirtz. Rabbi Matt is one of my most important and cherished mentors. And so if you want to figure out, you want to learn how your rabbi became the rabbi that I am today, you should come and hear Rabbi Pleasant and myself in conversation with Rabbi Gewirtz. I think it'll give you a little insight into maybe, in fact, both of us or all of us. He's by the way, he's written a new book, which is entitled The Making of a Spiritual First Responder, which I think is a very interesting concept and an interesting title. So that's why he's going to be with us. Also on Sunday morning, Rabbi Pleasant and I are going to team up again for a session that we are calling Kanye, Woody Allen, Anti-Semitism, and Cancel Culture. 9 a.m.
Minor topics.
Small
Yeah.
stuff. 9 a.m., bagels, coffee, next door. We hope you'll join us. And are we ready for a little Kiddush and Motzi? And then we have some nosh for everybody outside. Okay. Wait, we got to give you a microphone. Here it is. 1 second. Okay. Nice and loud.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kosho be'ahava uvratzon imchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yatanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim. You can take a sip. That was great. Very well done. I'll take that back. Hold on. You hold the microphone, and I'll bring the challah.
Chala's coming.
Okay.
Let's bless
It's
together.
over here.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
B'tei avot.
Amen. And B'tei Avon, you can take a whole bunch for your family. Take a whole big piece for your family. There we go.
I have a voice, my voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice, my voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. Change the world. Change the world.
God, may you give us the strength to use our voices, our powerful voices, to change this world for the better. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amav v'shalom. Shabbat shalom to all.